Welcome to the Harjit and Prayer Show with your host, Harjit and Prayer.
What's up, guys?
Hey, Prayer, what's going on, man?
Doing well. We have a guest today. What's going on, Steve?
Not much, Prayer. Yourself, how are you?
I'm doing well. So here's what's mind-blowing to me. It is a Saturday evening here in New York.
Yep.
And yeah, it's around 9 o'clock.
Friday evening.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Friday evening here in New York, around 9 o'clock. Steve, what day and time is it right now for you?
So it's Saturday, 1 p.m.
Yeah,
so 1 in the afternoon on Saturday in Sydney.
Where do you live? Yeah, so Sydney, Australia. Harjit, This guy is from the future, man.
Oh my God.
This is the first time we've had. I know that's corny, but
it's true. It's first time we had someone from the future, isn't it?
that
Yeah.
what, dude, Steve? What's happening right now? Tomorrow?
Trump's not much better.
Oh, we need to edit that out. That's funny. Okay.
So, anyway,
Sorry, I had to go there.
Introduction to our viewers. This is Steve Hosking from Australia, a sysadmin, consultant, SCCM expert, developer, and tell us about yourself, Stephen.
So I'm, as Harjit put it, I'm a sysadmin that does pretty much everything. I've been working in IT and SCCM and etc. for 15 years now, which is mind-blowingly long. Last year I took 2 months off, rode across America. Ended up at Ignite, which was a lot of fun. That's where I met you guys.
Cool.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Let's tell us a little bit about your bike trip that you had. How did that go? And
it went really well. I almost got killed like 4 or 5 times, which is actually pretty impressive. I expected more. We rode from Seattle all the way across to Boston along the top, popping in and out of the Canadian border. So up into Icefield Parkway, Montreal,
Vermont.
Vermont. So we
met up in Vermont.
Bought some beer in Vermont and Boston, and then all the way down the coast to Key West. So dropped in at DC, New York, Kennedy Space Center, and then up to Atlanta, which was just a fantastic trip.
Wow, that was awesome.
Oh yeah,
that's
what
cool.
I would say is, the craziest road on the whole trip was the New Jersey Turnpike. That's just insane, man. Seriously.
Yeah, I've driven
mind-boggling.
I've driven that thing during the day and at night, and it's like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
So, but
you
I would
should try it on
imagine,
motorbikes.
in my mind, I picture that the United States of America is a lot safer to road trip on a motorcycle on than it would be in Australia, because Australia, there's constantly things that are trying to kill you.
True.
Like dingoes and all sorts of snakes and boxing kangaroos, rats. Like every time I see something about animals in Australia, it's like something trying to kill you. So
yeah, pretty much.
That's just terrifying to me. Which is why.
Yeah, see, I actually was more comfortable riding in America than in Australia because, and camping in Australia more than America, because in America you have bears. And every campsite that we went to, it's like, oh, you've got to be careful of the bears, man. It's like, oh, okay, there's bears, so I've got to be careful. So I'd be sitting there at 2 in the morning, and you'd hear these deers coming around and walking around. You're like, oh no, it's the bears. They're grunting and they're groaning, and it's like, oh no.
But aren't you concerned about a viper biting you?
No.
Oh man,
No.
See, that's no, I'm not gonna go to Australia because of that.
So I grew up in the country. I lived with snakes and spiders and cows and things that kill you all the time.
Great.
I know I only ever saw 1, 2 snakes up close in the wild. It was easy.
What kind of bike did you ride across the states?
Yeah, so I purchased a Yamaha Vista 1100.
Okay.
2006 model. It was very, very good bike. Ended up riding something like 9,000 miles. Purchased it for $3,600 and sold it for $1,600. So $2,000 lost for the whole trip. It was actually pretty impressive.
Hey,
cool.
Not bad, yeah.
So you did you buy it off Craigslist, or did you know somebody that bought it for you, and then you turned the money over to them or something like that?
So we went to a dealer in Seattle.
Okay.
Yeah, so there's 3 of us, and we literally walked into the dealer and went, right, we want 3 motorbikes. What deal can you do us for? So we got 3 bikes, $3,600 each.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, and you can buy it as an international citizen without any issues. So I actually still have my number plate.
Excellent. That's so cool.
That's cool. Nice souvenir.
Because I remember
All right.
in the months leading up to it, like you had mentioned, you were looking for the bike on the crew sites and stuff like that. So I was curious how you ended up getting to what you got. So that's cool. But you are going to be talking to us not about deadly animals, but GraphAPI.
That's fun. Well, just as much fun. So yeah, GraphAPI. I don't know what you guys have heard about GraphAPI.
So what is GraphAPI?
So what GraphAPI is, to quote the website, let me get the most important quote because it's actually pretty awesome. GraphAPI is, loading page, one endpoint to rule them all.
Oh, nice.
So exactly, it's one of those marketing dreams that you sit there and go, yeah, we're going to use the one endpoint to rule them all. And what GraphAPI is an API endpoint to access all of your information about Office 365, about soon to be Microsoft Intune. So all your device management, all your user management, and you can also leverage it for Azure. So you can capture all of the information of your subscriptions, whether it be Intune, Power BI, Office, Exchange, or Azure through the one API call.
Interesting.
So you can create a single PowerShell module or function that you just change the web address that you're calling, and it'll pull back that information that you want right there and there. It's super, super cool and super, super simple.
Wow.
So how do we use this? How do we?
You got some demos for us or something, right?
I do indeed.
Sweet.
So let me share my screen, and we will do, if I can find the button, it's the plus, and we go share screens, and that one there. So let me know when you can see it.
There we go.
Yep. So what you'll see here is the GraphAPI website, which is graph.microsoft.io/ all of that extra stuff that it puts itself. In here, we see that we've got all of these different options along the top. We've got the home, get started, Docker, and all of that. The most important one here is the Graph Explorer. This allows me to go in here and just select any random bit of information about my object and query it. So I can go, for example, just to the root for me, and you'll see that I'm logged on with my test account that I've got for Australian Ignite, and we can see all of the information that we've populated on that. From there, we can actually drill in, okay, what assigned licenses do I have on that account? And I can see just the SKUs.
What?
The reason,
that's cool.
Yeah. The reason why it's just the SKUs is because it's a relational database. I can go across here, and from the company, let me find the information, organization, and I'll put a slash in there, and it should come up automatically as my subscribed SKUs. Should anyway. SKUs, SKU. We go. Nope. So if you don't know where you're going in here, what you can do is you can just select the documentation tab.
Okay.
So you can see here I couldn't find all the information that I needed. So I can just drill in and go, all right, I want to know about my directory as an example.
Okay.
And it will bring back all of that directory object information. So not only will it tell you what information's there, and this is a bad example, but it'll also tell you the web address that you use. So if we go here, and this one's my favorite actually, if we go here to Outlook messages and list messages, we can literally grab this and go copy and go paste, and we hit go. And there's all the emails for that user account.
Wow.
Literally. All of the emails for that user account. So that is the power. So you can go off and if you look at my blog post, you can go and create send an email by using post. So you just create a message body, and it goes and creates that email for you.
That's
Wow.
How cool is that?
So at this point, the only thing you've done is you've signed into Office 365, and then you went to Graph, and you're just pulling down the fields that you want. Are they called fields or something else?
Yeah, it's just fields, or it's JSON templates.
That's crazy.
APIs, whatever you want to call them. Endpoints as the
Got it.
Probably the most important one. Let's call it. And you'll see here you can have all of that information captured.
Okay, cool.
Say you want to go off and go through and find out about Intune information. Under the beta reference, we have all of this additional information. So you can see that, for example, we can bring up OneNote, and I can go and detail your OneNote document using PowerShell.
Wow.
That's pretty cool. Wow.
Yeah.
That's a lot of information.
Oh, yeah. And this is how cool GraphAPI is. It is the one endpoint to rule everything. Like, go to Intune.
That's awesome.
And we go to company terms and conditions and say we want to list them all. All we do is we grab this and we go back over to the Explorer and we paste it in there and we hit go. And what should happen is it should bring back the 3 different terms of conditions that are associated with that account eventually. So as the beta explains, it is test preview software, so it may change, it may tweak, but today as it stands, this is how you access all of the new Intune Ibiza portal via APIs. So I don't know if either of you have tried using automation for Intune previously, using the previous APIs via PowerShell, but it wasn't that simple. Whereas this is literally just calling a web service, and it'll go off and create that information for you.
Interesting.
How cool is that?
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
It makes life a lot easier.
Yeah. So, okay, so here's the data. What do you do with it?
You can do whatever you want with it.
Okay.
So, as an example, I've got a PowerShell script here, and what this is doing is that's the send email, and I can then go and create that as an object that I use in PowerShell.
Oh, wow.
So, for example, what we do
cool.
here, let's paste in the last one we used, and we'll delete this, and we're going to change this to a git, and we go control home, and what you'll see here is it'll pop up to, if I press the right button, it will pop up and ask me to authenticate, which you can define which username you want to authenticate with. And you accept all the information, which you can hide if you want to hide. So if you give this script to your customer, and then what you'll see down the bottom is once it completes the process, it will actually pull back that same information. So you can create that as a PowerShell object and go and work on that object. So you could then, for example, get the result of the terms and conditions ID and allocate that to a security group in Intune.
Wow, that's pretty wild.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So that is the power of GraphAPI. It's just fantastic.
That's pretty cool.
Wow. Yeah.
I just learned a lot.
Yeah, me too.
That's pretty impressive stuff. I had read your blog post, but I didn't understand anything until I just saw the demo. So the folks at Ignite in Australia are going to get a pretty cool treat. You're doing a presentation. You're doing a presentation there.
Yes. So what I'm presenting on is what's new in SCCM and Intune at Ignite Australia in 2 weeks. And one of the main demos is actually going to be on this GraphAPI because it is such an integral part of how you can leverage Intune now. It's going to change how people use it. It's fantastic.
Cool. And
That
so
is
then,
cool.
since it's PowerShell, you can also output any of this stuff to XML or HTML or whatever. And then
That's
if
correct.
you want to further, if you export it to a CSV, you can further manipulate that with whatever tools you're using
Yep.
there and stuff. That's really, really cool. Interesting.
And then pull it back in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Sweet.
So
And,
and that's the cool part. You go
for the PowerShell stuff, are the documentation in the same location where you showed us earlier?
Not completely. The documentation here that you'll see is for .NET. And that's why just jump onto my blog and you'll actually see a whole heap of different connection information in there. So under here, under getting started, you can actually see all the different languages that they support natively.
Okay.
So like even Android natively, you can go and find out how to create your Android application for GraphAPI.
Sweet.
Or iOS or PHP if you want to go down that adventure path.
Cool.
Wow.
So
All
yeah,
right.
it's such a powerful product. It's going to be fantastic.
Yeah, it seems that way. Yeah, it's really good.
Thank you for showing that to us, Stephen. That's definitely eye-opening, at least for me, and I'm sure for a lot of folks that watch this. So, all right, cool.
I hope so.
If they're attending Ignite Australia, how do they find your session?
I'm the only config manager session at Ignite Australia.
Seriously?
Nice and easy. I am.
That's
nice. Cool. All right. All right.
Very cool.
And what's your blog site? So
blog site is stephen.hosking.com.au. Nice and easy.
Excellent.
We'll put it down in the in the comments for the video too.
And you'll find me on Twitter at onprem cloud guy.
It's a nice one.
Awesome.
Nice and easy.
Yeah. So what else? What else has been going on?
Not much. Moving house, all that fun stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
Any other tech-related info this week? Anything blaring that's out there that? Really,
I can't think of anything. Pro?
Yeah, I can't think of anything. But, I am curious about one thing. Harjit and I always talk about food at the end of our...
Yes.
And I'm curious, like, we all know about Vegemite. I mean, come on.
Yes.
Right.
It's the leavings from VB beer.
So
it's the leftover yeast.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not a fan of it, but I can respect why people like it if they like that kind of intensity in their food. But I mean, is there like anything else that's native to Australia that us folks in the States would never have heard of?
I don't know if you guys get kangaroo. Do you get kangaroo in the actual supermarket?
You can eat that animal?
Yep.
Really?
It's actually a really high protein, really, really tasty meat.
Yeah, because
it's
they're
really,
always
really nice.
They're always boxing and stuff. So you can
not always.
You just gotta have you ever heard of that? I have never heard of that.
I didn't realize you could.
Interesting.
Isn't it on the coat of arms of Australia?
That's right. Australia, the only
legally
country in the world that eats their coat of arms.
Wow.
Both the kangaroo and the emu.
Okay, so how is it prepared? Just like
beef.
Okay.
Oh, just like beef. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
You just don't want to overcook it because then it gets really tough and not tasty.
So you make steaks out of it, or you mince it or stuff like that. Yeah.
Yep. Oh, exactly. Like kangaroo bolognese, as an example.
What about like kangaroo?
Nice.
What about kangaroo vindaloo? Is that a thing?
I haven't seen it, but I reckon it would be pretty damn good. Although it'd be much the same as mutton, where you don't want to overcook it.
Yes, that is important when it comes to mutton. You don't want to. Man,
kangaroo tikka masala.
My mind has been blown twice now with GraphAPI. Now the fact that y'all can get kangaroo at grocery stores in Australia, I have never heard of that. I think it's like a secret. That's crazy.
So the reason why you can eat them is because there's too many of them, right? I mean, they're just. It's another way of actually
cull them, but yes, they're quite nice, and they breed them for eating.
Wow!
Okay.
They have kangaroo farms. Really hard to contain them, but kangaroo farms, just for food.
I'm sorry for laughing, but But like we think of kangaroos as like really sweet animals that you have as pets and stuff, and so
No.
wow.
Oh, kangaroos are very not friendly.
Okay. Well, I mean, yeah, they try to kill you, but
Yes,
man.
yes, they do.
So okay, so just like in any grocery store, you can walk in, or you have to go to specialty stores.
Most of the large grocery stores now have kangaroo as a staple.
Okay, interesting.
Just like chicken, man. It's right next to chicken.
Next to
Literally,
chicken.
right next to the chicken.
And
Yeah.
what would you know, like if you were to prepare it as like a steak, like what would you compare the taste and texture to?
It's a bit gamey.
Okay.
So it sits around the venison mark, but
Okay.
it's just a bit. It's quite tasty so long as it's been cooked quite well. Like
Got
as
it.
in, medium rare is as far as you want to cook it. You don't want to go beyond that.
Interesting.
I bet it would make a wicked curry, man. Oh my
Yeah.
god.
I'd say so.
You know, I'm open to trying new things, but I'm not sure about the kangaroo.
Freya, we gotta go down there.
I don't want to
Kangaroo's
go.
good, man.
No, I don't want to go to Australia.
You should.
God.
Australia's awesome.
Yeah,
You got
I mean,
sunshine. You got the no immigrants
Deadly
anymore.
deadly spiders,
Spiders.
and
Spiders,
snakes,
snakes.
and really big rats. I mean,
So what's
The
your-
rats, not so much.
oh really? There's videos
No.
of rats in Australia that I've seen that are like overrunning houses and stuff.
You're confusing New York City.
Oh,
Yeah, I was
right.
thinking.
That's what I'm thinking of.
I
So
saw
what
more
about your
rats in
beer?
New York
What
than
about
Australia.
beer? What do you like? What's your favorite beer in Australia?
Um,
Don't tell
Yeah,
me
that's-
Foster's.
no, man. So
That's
here's
like
a funny story.
Budweiser for us, man.
Here's a funny story, right? I actually worked for Foster's quite a number of years ago, and we didn't even have Foster's on the menu. Like, it is such a small beer brand in Australia now. So,
Hey,
yeah, it's quite interesting. But for us, like last night, I was drinking Little Creatures Pale Ale. So it's a really hoppy beer, very, very, very nice. Local beer brewed in Sydney, I think. Otherwise, I just drink whatever people give me at the moment.
that's awesome.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, I learned a lot today. I'm glad definitely glad we did this, and hopefully PETA will not pursue us in any way. Yeah, I'm really wondering if they know about this kangaroo stuff. Anyway.
Well, have you seen the new one that Peter sent out? Was to about Warhammer, trying to get them to not use pelts in the little minifigs,
Interesting.
even though it wasn't real pelt, but
Got it.
just trying to get people to not use it as the.
Okay.
Okay. I mean, I support some of the stuff they do, but in a video game, I'm not so sure. But
Yeah.
Anyway, we probably
I
should
hear.
wrap this up before we say something really stupid.
Right.
Sounds good.
So Steven, that was good. Appreciate the demo and the and getting us
cultural insight.
Yeah, cultural insight and stuff. So, anyways,
Thanks, guys. I appreciate the invite.
Yeah.
How can they find you on Twitter again?
At on-prem cloud guy.
Cool. And your website one more time?
Steven.hosking.com.au.
Awesome. And folks, if you're going to Ignite, Microsoft Ignite in Australia in a few weeks, you want to look up Steven. He's the only guy doing the SCCM and Intune sessions. You can find me on Twitter at ITPrayer. My new blog you can find at itprayer.wordpress.com. Sorry, no domain for that, just generic, cheap stuff.
And I'm Harjit. You'll find me on Twitter as @Hoorge, HOORGE, and my blog is harjit.us. Really simple.
Nice.
All right.
All right.
Until
y'all.
next time, and take it easy, Steven. We'll catch up
Thanks,
with you
guys.
tomorrow.
Have a good one.
Yep.
I'm sure you will.
Bork, bork, bork.